Hey, this is Matt Boggs, and today we're going to talk about how to know if you should actually go on that second date with a guy where you're kind of feeling not a whole lot of chemistry for. So I was on the phone with a brand new client a couple days ago, and she said, look, I have been on a ton of dates the last 2 years, and I do not want to settle. And if a guy asks me out again, if I'm not sure that he's the one, or if I'm feeling kind of lukewarm, then my answer is just no. And this has been my pattern for the last 2 years. I don't want to settle, but I want to change this pattern. How do I know if I should give a guy a second chance? Now, this is a very common experience, especially if you are a sexy, smart, successful woman. And too often you think that if you don't have this innate knowingness immediately that this person is the one, or if you don't get that chemistry right away that signals to you that this person could be a major partner in your life, then you think you're settling and you cast it aside as not something that you want to move forward with. And it's true, nobody wants to settle, nor should you settle, because truly settling means that you're actually saying yes to something that you don't really want. And I agree, you shouldn't settle, nor should you try to change someone to become something they're not, or try to make them better than they really are, or look past red flags that are really there. That's not what I'm saying. But the trap is, and too often in today's culture, this fear of settling causes us to cast something to the side before we really know what it has the potential to become. After spending thousands of hours with couples who have been happily married over decades, yeah, a few of them talked about this love at first sight experience, but the vast majority of them didn't have certainty that the person they were dating was going to be the person with whom they would spend the rest of their life. Very few of them had that innate knowingness right out of the gate. The vast majority of them talked about this discovery process over time, and they described it as this slow burn, or this friendship that catches fire, so to speak. Kind of like that. It's like having a desire for a rose when what you're looking at is a rose bud, something that hasn't opened itself up to you yet. Now, it doesn't look like what you're looking for, and it definitely doesn't have this bam, wow experience that you want. But you give it a little time. You give it the right amount of light and the right amount of warmth, and it begins to open itself. And as the petals stretch out and open themselves to you, it becomes the experience ultimately that you want. When you open yourself to the possibility that someone might actually grow on you, you open yourself to the possibility of a fantastic relationship in your life. So here are 2 ways to know if you should open yourself up to that possibility and if you should open yourself up to the idea of going out with this guy again. Number 1 is to redefine uncertainty. Instead of allowing this uncertain state about him to mean that he's not the one, allow this uncertain state to mean that there's a possibility that he could become the one. So let uncertainty be a possibility for yes rather than a decisive no. Number 2, move from the analytical mind down into your heart. And this is what I mean. Instead of analyzing him and checking boxes, right? Looking for the amount of hair he has or doesn't have, the amount of height he has or doesn't have, the size of his bank account, right? Or the teeth he has or doesn't have. All right, teeth might be a deal breaker. If you find yourself up in your head checking boxes like an IRS agent conducting an audit, that's most likely your paradigm actually looking for reasons to keep you single. The analytical mind is not how love will speak to you. Instead, move from your head into your heart and ask yourself these 2 questions. Do I feel more alive and expansive in his presence? And do I feel more at peace when I'm with him? An overwhelming number of couples that I interviewed for Project Everlasting talked way more about this feeling of peace rather than the overwhelming state of chemistry or excitedness that they felt with that person. Because what's excited always has to come down to its resting state. Now, don't get me wrong, chemistry is important, but way more valuable for the long term is this sense that you feel peaceful around him and that being with him is easy. So if the answer to the questions, do I feel more alive and expansive around him and do I feel at peace in his presence, is an overwhelming yes, then give him another shot. Go out with him 2 or 3 times. See if that relationship will begin to blossom and to become more of what you're looking for. See if that friendship will catch fire for you. And if you go out with them 2, 3, 4 times and nothing happens, then feel free to move on, because yes, chemistry is important for a lifelong partnership, but oftentimes chemistry does not happen on the first, second date. Sometimes it takes time for that relationship to blossom and to become the beautiful experience that you're looking for. Remember, no great thing was ever accomplished without great risk. So as you give yourself and your man the opportunity to open up to one another, you give this relationship the opportunity to blossom, you will find yourself in a partnership that is even more magnificent than you anticipated. Now, I hope this serves you. If you found value in this video, I encourage you to share it right now with someone that you know could benefit from watching this video. And I have a question for you that I would love to read in the comments below. I love reading your comments. So here's my question to you. What strategy do you use to determine whether or not you should see someone again? How many chances do you give them when dating to decide whether or not it's someone you should pursue or someone that you should release from your life? Go ahead and post that comment below. I love checking those comments out. And I've posted a great resource for you in the description, and there's a link in this video right here that you can click that will help you in your love life. And lastly, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you get subscribed so that way you can be the first to get the latest and greatest videos that come out each and every week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.